Step for our summer entrepreneurship program is to find a way to track all the money that you're going to be making. So we're going to start out in Microsoft Excel, and I'm going to go over the assignment as this is popping up here. Excel is a green X down on the bottom, and it's taken a while this morning. It's kind of tired, so there we go. Okay. I'm going to go to a blank workbook. It might say new sheet, something like that. I'm going to create, and it's going to pull up an empty template. So what we're doing, tracking expenses and income, either using Excel or Google Sheets, create a way to track your income and expenses and running totals. So Excel has a little more, a few more bells and whistles with this. You'll have a few more options. Google Sheets works. It doesn't have quite as many options for formulas. So it might be all right. If you're more comfortable with that, that's fine. You don't have to save in Google Sheets. It saves automatically. Excel, it does not. So we need the date of transaction, the patron or the person that you're doing the service for, the specific work you performed, the amount of the transaction, the expense, the cost of the expense, and running total of the amount you earned. Use formulas to tabulate your totals every opportunity you have to make the calculations automatic and simple. And then once you've completed the template, fill in at least 8 lines of realistic data and ensure it works. Then hand it in. So I'm going to scoot this over to the side so I can still see everything that's going on. You're not going to have to. You can just like minimize this video if you want to and do this along, or just watch, see how to do it, and then do it later. So this is Excel. In A1, I'm going to put the date, not the dart, the date, the patron, the specific work, the transaction amount, and then all on the same line. And there's going to be multiple ways to do this, and since we've had some experience with Excel, I trust you to go ahead and modify this how you would want to. There's more than one way to set this up. I'm just going to give you one example, so it doesn't have to look exactly like this. Copying what I do would probably be the easiest way to do it, though. Transaction amount. All right, where were we? Specific work performed, amount of the transaction. Okay, and then the expense. Expense. And then cost of expense. So this specifically is what you could do a little bit differently. I'm just going to put mine all on the same line. So either it's going to have a plus or a negative amount. And that's going to be determined by the formula that I use. And then a running total. Okay, so I'm going to put in a few numbers to start out with because I think that's easier. I'm going to go ahead and outline this, make it look pretty just a little bit. You don't have to do that. So I'm going to put in a few fake things. So on July 8th of 21, my patron is Betty Smith, and I'm mowing her lawn. Transaction amount, she paid me $30. Expense, there is no expense. Cost of expense, there's no cost of expense. Running total, that would be there. So running total, so far I have equals this. All right, and that works. Now I'm going to do an example of the expense now. So in this space here where it says running total, I'm not just going to put equals this. I'm going to have to change things up for the first cell, for the first line. So for row 2, that's okay. For the second row, everything is going to change. So I'm going to say on the very next day, I'm going to do something for Frank Murphy. And I mowed his lawn, and it was $30 also. Now, I can't just say equals 30 here because this is a running total. That's how much money I've made total. That's not 30. It should be 30 plus 30. So I'm going to go equals whatever's above me. Whatever's above this line equals this plus this over here, right? And I'm giving you some examples. Don't do this with me as I go because I'm going to go back and change this. I'm just going to give you a few examples of why I'm setting it up the way that I am. So I ran out of gas. So on 7/9/21, I had no patron. Nobody gave me money. I didn't do any specific work. They didn't pay me for anything. I had an expense of gasoline, right? And it cost me $24 to fill up. That's expensive. Let's not do that many. Let's do way too much. $12. Okay, so that was an expense. That is not money that I made. So I'm going to go ahead and, this is bothering me. I'm going to center this real quick. Okay, so I should have equals this dollar amount minus this dollar amount. Now my running total's down to 48 bucks because I had to go buy gas. Make sense? So we need to roll all of this into one. So here's where you can start copying what I do. I need all of these formulas to be in the running total no matter what. My very first one, I'm going to put equals this, and after that, all of the formula has to just be one that I can copy all the way down, right? So I'm going to say equals whatever's above me plus whatever's in this square, but minus whatever's in my cost of expense. Okay? So if there is nothing in cell D3, it's not going to add anything. But if there is something in cell F, F3, it's going to subtract it. So let me show you what I did there. If I made $50, it's going to add it to 80. If I had $100, it's going to add it to 130. I'm going to put in 0 though, and it's going back to the original 30. But let's say I had an expense here instead of another $12 for gas, it drops it down to 18. Very simple formula here. Equals whatever is above me. So since I am in cell G3, whatever is above me is cell G2. G3 is right here in the green, G2 is in the blue. So equals G2, whatever's above me, plus anything I would make, minus anything I would spend. Pretty simple. I'm going to do that one more time so you can see it, and then I'm going to make it simple and drag and drop. So equals whatever's above me, so now I'm going to go equals G3, that's above me, plus, which is shift and the equal sign, up kind of by the delete key, plus this, and, nope, just kidding, plus this, because it's got to be on the same line that I'm on. I'm on G4, so it should be on D4. And then minus this. Enter. One more time. Equals one above me plus this minus this. So these two are on the same line. This one's above me. After I get it done once correctly, all I have to do is click on the bottom right here. There's a little green square. Click on that, drag it down, and it'll drag my running total. I'm going to drag that baby all the way down there. So now as I start to put things in, so mowing didn't cost me $12. Mowing made me $35 mowing for Frank, and that automatically totaled. And then I had a couple days off. On the 13th, I mowed for Bill Burger, and he paid me $25. When I put in 25, it's automatically going to tabulate. So this is my running total. This is my cost of expense. This is the expense. Again, I ran out of gasoline. It finishes typing for me. I don't know if you saw that. I typed in GA, and Google's so smart, all I have to do is hit tab or enter, and it'll finish typing it for me. This time it cost me $11.87. Almost done here. Google doesn't know I'm working with money yet, though, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight column D minus the transaction amount. So starting in cell D2, I'm going to highlight and go down, and we're going to say, hey, Google, guess what? I'm not working with percentages. I'm working with dollars. So I'm going to click on that and click the dollar sign. It'll make everything in dollars. Great. Same thing with the cost of expense. F, all the way down from F2 to F25. And if you have it full screen, it's going to look like this. It'll be right up here is my dollar sign where I click that. And same thing for running total. This is a working document that you could use over the summer to document how much you're making. So I need to make sure to put a date in for this, so I make sure to stay on the same line, because I don't want to put a patron and their amount of the transaction with an expense. So only one thing per line, or that's going to mess things up. On 7/13 then of 21, back to Betty Smith, because guess what? Her lawn needed mowing again. And she paid me $30 again. And so that automatically added $30 to my total. So far, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. I need at least 8 lines. So 7, 14, 21, and then we'll say I did it again on the next day. We went back to my buddy Frank, mode for Frank, mode for Bill. I didn't run out of gas. Amazing. And again, they paid me $35 and $25, and oops, put it in the wrong spot. Mowing, $25, and it automatically totals. So far this summer, I have mowed 6 lawns, and I've made $156.13. That's my total income minus my total cost of expenses. Again, there are multiple ways we could do this. If you wanted to, you could have a sheet that had all of your income here, all of your expenses here, and then the total difference here. You would add it up a little differently, right? So it would still be adding everything. This would be adding my income, adding my expenses, and then subtracting income minus expenses. If you'd like to do it that way, you can. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And we're not going to save this in 2020 taxes. We're going to save this as summer entrepreneurship, spelled correctly, of course. And this is going to be tracking. Example. So I'm going to save this so I can edit it later if I need to, but I'm also going to save this as a PDF file and upload it for you to use as a guide if you would like. So that is your assignment. If you got lost, feel free to rewind, go back again. Otherwise, make sure we go over the rubric. Check this baby out. We have all 7 of those items that we had listed. Formulas accurately used whenever possible. So if you just manually add things together, you're going to miss that 25%. You have to have formulas. Here's my formula in this case. And then 8 lines of data inputted. So I have 8 lines here at least. If you want to do more, that's great. You can make up that you made tons of money if you'd like. So that is your assignment. Good luck.